is that flavor. What scent is this, honey? That creepy, that agent. The agent knew what scent her lotion was. What scent is this, honey? That's Hawaiian mist. That's Hawaiian mist. At what point will that guy be killing himself? Oh, it's hilarious. Are we on?
Yeah.
We've been on. Have we been on?
I started it like a minute ago.
All right, well, let's see what that is. Oh, my God. Well, listen, the fun's already started.
Oh, yeah.
Gilbert Gottfried is a comedian, and he's in my kitchen. And this is a long series. You've seen Seinfeld getting coffee with comedians. This is me, comedians in my kitchen. And quite frankly, it's not catching on the way Seinfeld does. I've gotten zero heat from this. And I've been doing it for 10 months, 4 days a week. Seinfeld takes off to, I believe, teach his kid how to fly the space shuttle that he just bought. Me and David Tell were driving in a cab after the Comedy Cellar one night up to his apartment, and we passed by. There's that, I won't say the street, but there's a garage where supposedly Seinfeld has like 80 Porsches.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he bought a garage, a whole, parking garage where he just has Porsches. And that's all he has.
I can't buy Porsches here.
Different kinds of Porsches.
My Rolls Royces are in the other garage. I can't have them mingling together. You don't put a Porsche with a Rolls Royce. Anyone who knows cars knows about this.
So he's doing a lot of the relatable material. Jared, how's your material changed since you became a billionaire? Well, I used to do about how, Sephardic Jews shouldn't date, Hasidic Jews in Crown Heights. And now I do how you can't mix a Rolls Royce with a Porsche. If you have 80 Rolls Royces, don't put it near 80 Porsches. He literally has 80, and I think he's one of those guys where we read in the newspaper that he might have bought the Batmobile. I'm not sure. He might have bought the Adam West Batmobile. And, I think he restored it so it's like you could drive it. And,
you can't put the Batmobile with the Austin Martin. The two don't mix.
You can't put the Adam West Batmobile with the Michael Keaton Batmobile.
I saw them trying to mix my yachts together.
By them, I meant the Mexican crew. Oh, my God.
All of my private jets have a separate place.
Yeah, that's the material he's doing now. The blue-collar crowds in Minneapolis going, when you have to wait on, your jet is third on line to fuel? How come I don't read anything in the Daily News about the price of private jet fuel? The New York Post and the Daily News don't print the private jet fuel going. They're talking Met bleacher tickets have gone on $2. So we were thinking about his kids, Seinfeld's kids, going to the prom in the Batmobile. I guess his son losing his virginity in the space shuttle. Hey, honey, I think little, I don't know what his name is, Irving?
Little Irving Seinfeld.
Little Honey Irving took the space shuttle to school. Does he know how to operate it yet? Yeah, Neil Armstrong is tied downstairs in the basement teaching.
The chauffeur in the Batmobile is George Clooney.
Yeah, I don't do stereotypical black chauffeurs. I have a white guy. So I just so out of touch of your kid. God, if I was his kid, I would make sure I lost my virginity in one of those cars.
Oh yeah.
Okay, here we go. What is this? The highest paid comedians 2000. How you doing?
I'm going to take a wild guess. My name's not on the top of the list.
It goes Jerry Seinfeld.
Wait. Probably Kevin Hart.
Okay, wait a minute. Jerry Seinfeld, and it's literally 8 black guys with one name. That you've never heard of.
Elmo, Calvin.
It's Jerry Seinfeld, Conquest.
Sapphire.
Slick motherfucker. Talent. Remember that guy? This guy's name was Talent.
Oh, yeah.
That is really putting pressure on yourself. And then you see him and you go, oh, maybe it's like calling a fat guy tiny. It's an ironic thing. Okay, so Seinfeld is at the top still in 2015? Because I would think Kevin Hart's name is there. Of course, Jeff Dunham.
Oh, yeah.
Jeff, at what point did you put Jeff Dunham's dummy? Does he consider Jeff Dunham, okay. He could, Seinfeld is still up there though. I guess he's still, because I think they're counting the residuals still every year. That's not fair. The Seinfeld residuals, I think they count. Jerry Seinfeld once said there are 4 stages of comedy. Make your friends laugh, make strangers laugh, get paid to make strangers laugh, and then catch herpes in the Batmobile. No, and make people talk like you because it's so much fun. There you go. Yeah, so in other words, the point there is Jerry Seinfeld is not at a party in the Hamptons right now doing a Gilbert impression.
Yeah.
Kevin Hart is not in Beverly Hills doing his best Artie line. So, okay, he could have stopped at number 3 and have been okay, at least financially. The Seinfeld co-creator and stand-up comic ranks as the top-earning comedian, having raked in $36 million between June 1st, 2014 and June 1st, 2015, with little trouble. But wait a minute, again, not to get into the subject again, but I would say Tracy Morgan would have to be the and then 3 guys who opened for him that night. Artie Fuqua, guys you never. Yeah, but Tracy Morgan, I think.
I don't mix my Fuqua.
I got the complaint. Get Forbes on the phone. I take umbrage with your Jerry Seinfeld article. $36 million. That's what I made for the first quarter from Walmart. I got Sam Walton's balls on my fucking treasure chest.
Someone come here and read me this article.
Hey, is Tina Fey home? I need her to read something again. Could you tell Mr. Baldwin that Tracy's on the phone? I need him to. It's not my contract. It's something else. Oh, fucking my esophagus hurts. Oh, it's fucking funny. Yeah, Tracy Morgan, I'm going to give it to him. I mean, you know, of course, Seinfeld made his money by sitting down and writing new jokes, even though he's worth $1 billion, and, you know, traveling the country and saying them and getting residuals from a show he took time to create. And Tracy got his money because a tired truck driver veered into his lane. I've been, you know, I got the mixed reaction at the Comedy Store. I tried this joke. I shouldn't open with it is the problem because it digs a hole. I've been getting up on it because Tracy Morgan's new home that he just bought. It's insane. I mean, really, it is like the White House in North Jersey. And it was a picture of the paper, and I said, I saw that, and I'm very happy for him. But I said, if there's any Walmart drivers in the audience tonight, I'll be at exit 8 on the turnpike at 2 a.m., and I'll be driving, a gray gas home. And it's okay if you kill him. If you kill Greg, it's fine. As long as I survive, we'll be okay. And you have to either stay up for 24 straight hours or have a couple of Remy Martins. Read something to me. Oh, Christ. Well, that's it. With this first 8 minutes, we're not in show business anymore anyway.
Yeah.
The next time I invite Gilbert over to my kitchen, it's going to be to auction off the table.
Yeah.
Well, let me describe the dynamic in here because it's very, very impressive. Gilbert and I are doing doing exactly what you hear us doing now, but we'll be doing it on stage at Caroline's Comedy Club on 8th Avenue and 50th Street, right in the heart of Times Square, legendary place. And for the New York Comedy Festival, November the 11th at 7 p.m. And you can go get a link somewhere. I don't know why you would. Just go. That's all the information you need. But so it's part of the comedy festival. It's going to be just me. Gilbert's wife is here. The details are it's just me and him on stage with a couple of mics doing the podcast. Yeah, and it'll air. It won't air that night, obviously. Okay, so it's in front of a live audience, and it'll air as Gilbert's podcast and my podcast, the same thing. And so Gilbert agreed to come in and promote it here, sitting in the kitchen. So that's what we're promoting. But another very exciting thing is happening. There's a gentleman with a camera here doing a documentary on Gilbert Gottfried.
Oh, yeah, because it's so important. It's something.
He's doing a documentary on guys who haven't bought a shirt since 1978. So describe this. How did this come about?
I have no fucking.
Do you realize there's guys who invented vaccines who haven't had documentary?
Yeah, like the guy that cured polio. Never had a documentary. Huh?
Never had a dinner.
And
this man.
Yeah. He cured polio and he never had a dinner. Ho, ho, he, ha, ha, strange things are happening.
That's for anyone born after 1911. That's Red Buttons. Red Buttons had a bit literally on the roasts of the Dean Martin classic 70s roast where his bit was, he'd tell the guy, they're having a dinner for him, a roast, and he would, tell jokes about other historical figures who never had a dinner. He's pissed off that they never had a dinner.
Benjamin Franklin's wife, who said, "Why don't you go fly a kite?" And he never had a dinner.
One time, Don Rickles was goofing on Red Buttons by doing his set. And what the funniest thing about Don Rickles was sometimes he would just make a face and do like a stereotypical, like a racist voice, and you didn't need a joke. You would just laugh. He would go, Red Buttons is here. He was trying out a new bit going, and Will Chamberlain, who once said, "We play tennis, never had a dinner." What? What the fuck does that mean? Will Chamberlain, who said, "We played tennis, never had a dinner." But think about that. Those guys made a living doing. I mean, Red Buttons. I don't know if he was ever the highest paid comedian. But those guys made a fine living. My favorite Red Buttons, though, is now we're veering over the Red Buttons conversation. But how about Red Buttons when he would do like a Love Boat?
Yes.
And he would get serious.
Yes.
He would get serious. Like he would go up to Gavin McLeod and go, you know what, Captain, all I wanted. I like to goof around, sure, but the only thing I wanted to do this weekend was show my wife a good time.
And they would have that really phony backdrop of the ocean.
Yeah, that was Gavin McLeod. Yeah, they would cut. Now you know how shit's done. Like we've been. When you shoot a film, it does sort of ruin the illusion.
Yes.
After you shoot a movie, even the films Gilbert and I have been in, sort of. It brings the curtain back a little bit, and you see how it's done. All you could do to me after I shot a movie was when I watch a film now, I think about how fucking long it must have taken.
Oh yes.
To shoot a scene, like an action scene, the close-ups, the setting up of this and that.
Like when you watch a scene where you see one guy fire and then the other guy fire the gun, and you realize. The one guy firing the gun, they took like about 3 weeks of him shooting the gun.
And God forbid you get wet in the scene, like you got to dry off.
They got to change.
It really is. It changes your whole perspective on stuff. But Gavin McLeod, the Love Boat, you get like a generic shot of a boat, just a ship out of the harbor, and then Gavin McLeod to go from Mary Tyler Moore. Where he looked kind of homosexual. with the, you don't realize.
Mary.
You don't realize that as a kid. You're like, hey, man. My wife is coming over, man. Your wife, really?
Yeah.
And then he goes to the fucking Love Boat thing, and he's got those knee-high white socks.
I know. That was always like, couldn't he have argued for long pants?
Well, my favorite thing was always like there were at the height of the Planet Hollywood restaurants being successful. There was one in every city. Like they opened one.
Oh, yeah.
For a while, you saw Schwarzenegger, Bruce Willis, and Stallone jetting to the one in Seattle or whatever the fuck it was, and on somebody else's dime. Like no one saw that coming. That it was gonna fucking go under. But there were so many of them. It was like after a while the memorabilia kind of got thinned out, and I always thought like the one in Butte, Montana, just has Gavin McLeod's outfit from the pilot of the fucking Love Boat.
And then they had the fashion cafe that were models.
Yes. Yeah.
So it's like food from models.
Yeah, who cares? Right, exactly. Food from models.
Yeah, they weigh 3 ounces.
Yeah, just a vomitorium.
Yeah.
No, I know. Who thought that? I mean, again, it seemed like a front for just a European cocaine operation or something.
Yeah, there were Arabs behind each other.
And every time we understand that Mr. Willis is coming. I'll give you 15,000 drachmas to fuck Demi. It's good Demi Moore party too. You get to know as she got older, you saw that she would start that weed she had and everything. It was probably when she was young. She probably fucking got high and fucked everybody. It makes you fucking so turned on.
Oh yeah,
it really does. But anyway, I think about stuff like that. So are you? How long have you been shooting the documentary for? How long has it been going?
We're back to that.
Yeah, no. Well, there's a guy here with a camera. It's very disconcerting.
This is one of those things where someone says, "Oh, we're doing this," and then I go, "Oh, we are."
You mean the podcast?
Yeah, both. No, the documentary. I'm fine. It's the podcast.
So wait, at some point, someone said you were going to go to Artie Lang's kitchen and talk for a while.
Yeah.
And you smoking angel dust? Okay, well, forget about the camera. It's very disconcerting because we're yelling out, racist stuff. It's one thing to do it in the microphone. There's a huge camera there. To cut to every CNN, Jake Tapper. These two men who say they're comedians, these two animals, were saying this about Tracy Morgan.
The last podcast we did, I was getting all these tweets going, so you and Artie after 5 minutes turned entirely racist.
5 minutes?
Yeah.
30 seconds.
Well, there was a delay.
But there've been Klan meetings that were less racist for the first one. But no, we're pointing out again. We're being ironic. I'll explain.
Yes.
We're pointing out the hypocrisy of. You know what? I can't even buy that. I'm gonna. No, but the
hypocrisy of black people who can't read.
No, to suggest, it was interesting. My mother called me, true story, my mother called me up after, Tracy Morgan did the Today Show. He was doing other interviews, and my mother called me up and said, "Oh, this is so sad. I'm watching him be interviewed. Are you watching this?" I'm like, "No, what channel?" She tells me the channel. He goes, "Oh, it's really sad. You can't understand, anything he's saying." And I put it on. It was an interview from 2002. Never mind. But no, we should say too, we bonded this summer at the Montreal Comedy Festival.
Oh God!
Gilbert and we shot a big Showtime special that they said was going to air. That's a good sign. We shot it 4 months ago, and it's supposed to air in the fall. And my agent just said no, now maybe January.
Oh yes, that means it's strong.
It's like that plane that keeps changing gates.
Yeah.
Eventually, it's like, no, okay, you're at gate 7. You're at gate, no, get a room at the Radisson.
Yeah, because back then they said it's gonna film. It's gonna be shown in Canada,
which is always a great thing.
Yeah, which is always big. And then they said, no, it's already been sold to Showtime and Canada. And now it's like nobody knows whatever happened to it.
Yeah, and then your agent knows but doesn't want to tell you and waits for you like a year later to ask about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whatever happened with that Showtime special? Hey, you want to go to the SNL party? But no, so Gilbert and I did go to Montreal, and again, Gilbert was a little more pathetic for Gilbert. Gilbert's in his early 60s. I'm in my late 40s, and we agreed to do every single nasty show.
Oh yeah,
which is a staple of Montreal's comedy festival. It's like a midnight show. Where the 6 dirtiest comics up there do it. Sometimes you're just one of them, but we agreed to do every show. We were up there for 2 straight weeks. And you and Dara came up, and you were smart enough to take a break in between. I stayed up there.
Yeah.
So we did that, and then we did other shows. Gilbert got roasted. But you were like in a coffin.
That was, I mean, when you do that comedy festival,
right.
It's like, you'll get your information that
right.
you're doing this show and this show.
Yeah.
And then when you get out there and it's like, oh, so you're doing this, and this. Yeah. Oh, what? You didn't get that?
Right. No, I know.
Yeah,
they spring it on you, and what they hope is that you're so depressed in your room that you'll leave for anything.
Yeah, you're so suicidal.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they go, do you want to do such and such a show? Like, he's a hot comic in L.A. He's doing an alternative bit that he does on the stage. It's great. He'll fit right into it. He makes fun of your career for half an hour, and you sit there and get paid nothing. Of course.
Yes, yeah.
You don't get paid extra money. But we did, at the end of the 2 weeks, we taped the Nasty Show for a Showtime special. And I hosted it and brought everybody up, and it seemed to go well. But again, that was in July.
It even when it did well,
yeah.
It never did great. It was never one of those things you said, "Wow, that was really good."
It was one of those things where you said, "I hope the check clears."
Yeah.
Because that was another thing they goof you into in Montreal. They give you a number, and then you realize they take the taxes out up there, but then your manager or agent commissions you on the gross. Like, in other words, say you're getting paid whatever, like 10 grand or something, and you're not getting paid 10 grand because they take the Canadian